Imagine you're on a beach vacation, the sun warms you from above, and the ocean waves cool you as they come in. You're surrounded by friends and family, and today you're all going on a very special tour. It's a historic underwater tour of a graveyard that was once a majestic coral reef. We're not there yet, but our oceans are dying. There's many governments, groups, and policies that are trying to fight off environmental changes, overfishing, and pollution. But today's projections suggest it might be too little too late. It's a bleak thought, yes. And that's what makes me so driven about my research in cryopreservation. Just think, if we can take fertilized fish embryos, store them indefinitely at sub-zero temperatures, and thaw them without them dying, we'd be able to reintroduce these species back into their natural habitat when it is safe to do so. But it's difficult to get the biology of fish embryos to agree with the chemistry of cryopreservation. Cryopreservation uses chemicals called cryoprotective agents that are very similar to the antifreeze windshield washer fluids we put in our cars. But the goal is to prevent ice from forming. But it's easy to get antifreeze windshield washer fluid into a vehicle, whereas embryos have many barriers and seals that prevent chemicals from getting in. And rightfully so, because research finds that anything above a minimal concentration of these chemicals can be lethal to the embryo. Theoretically, we want no ice formation. But in reality, there's a certain amount of ice that can be recovered from. Think of it like first-degree frostbite versus severe fourth-degree frostbite. The smaller the ice crystals, the safer it is for the embryo. That's where ice recrystallization inhibitors come in. These inhibitors are small molecules that instead of focusing on preventing the formation of ice, they focus on preventing the growth of ice. But they've never been tested in fish before. We hypothesized that these small inhibitors could weasel their way into an embryo and improve cryopreservation outcomes. We recruited the help of zebrafish because they're easy to maintain, produce a lot of embryos, and their embryos are very representative to those of many other fish animals. So far, my research has yielded 3 compelling results. 1, that getting these inhibitors into the embryo is as easy as mixing it into the same water. 2, regardless of the duration of exposure, these inhibitors have no toxic or consequences on the developmental outcomes. And 3, most importantly, when looked at under a microscope, and when we look at the muscle cells of these embryos, we can see significantly smaller ice crystals than the groups that did not have the treatment. We're certainly a long ways to go before we can fend off extinction with this technology, but we sure can get there before your 2050 beach vacation. Thank you.